do so many things in the world every day. Or just so many things. But actually, do we really know what we're doing? Why we're doing it? We do things, we're told, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. My teacher said this, my parents said this. Maybe my cultural tradition said this, but why am I actually doing what I'm doing? So we're going to visit that question. So, repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Okay. Where's my verse? Sorry. No, it's somewhere in here. Maybe that one. There it is. Repeat after me. So all the ancient wisdom scriptures, it's so nice actually because and the Vedas are all poetry. You sing the Vedas. You can sing. And actually, writing, many people think that humanity has evolved now that it can do writing. But actually what's happened, all the ancient traditions have been documented to be oral traditions. Why did the transformation go from oral to writing? Our modern scientists say it's due to advancement in civilization. Actually, the Vedas and the spiritual understanding is the exact opposite. It's due to the dullness of the mind that instead of being able to remember sound vibration, now we have to write because we're so dull-witted now in this age. So this is... Ooh. I'll be around. Anyhow, this is but it's so nice. And if you actually, what's so nice is you can actually remember these ancient wisdom scriptures. Like now, all the modern religions, you can sing them. Even there's a lot of Hebrews who can still sing the Torah. There's, Muslims who could sing the Quran. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're having a Bhagavad Gita discourse. So.
Oh, are you Pabitra's husband?
Yes.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, you have to offer.
Yes, Madhav, maybe help him so he could place where he'd like. So everyone repeat after me. Kachiri tachtrutang partha Tvayaka grena chetasa Kachira jnana sammoha Pranashtaste dhananjaya Kachiri tachtrutang partha Tvayaka grena chetasa Kachira jnana sammoha Pranashtaste dhananjaya. Jai. Anyone want to try? Anyone want to try to chant it?
I bet you heard it. I bet you could recite it.
Kachiri tachcharan partha.
Kachire tachrutang partha
Tvayaka grena chetasa.
Tvayaka grena chetasa
Kachira jnana samoha.
Kachira jnana sammoha
Pranastaste dhananjaya.
Pranashtaste dhananjaya. Okay, kachid
Gretchen.
means weather. Etat, this. Shrutam, heard. Partha, the son of Partha, son of Pritha. Tvaya ekagrena, Tvaya, but by you. Ekagrena, with full attention. Chetasa, by the mind. Kachid, weather. Agyana, ignorant. Samoha, illusion. Pranashta, dispelled. Te, of you. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth. Jai. Hello.
You want to get the backpack? Who's in the
Okay, no problem. So, is Pavitram coming today?
No, she's at work.
Okay,
She
so
works every other
okay,
day.
you is it if I speak in English, it'll be understandable?
Yes.
Yes, fully.
No problem.
No problem. Okay,
Good, 'cause that's all
that's because that's all I know. I can't. I will tell you I'll speak in English, but that's all I can do. So,
So you know the prayers in what is it?
some of the verses I can chant the Sanskrit. Like this one, I Kachid etachrutang partha tvayaka grena chetasa kachid jnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. I remembered this one. But there's 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. There's 18,000 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. There's 48,000 of the whole Mahabharata. And there's hundreds of thousands of all the Vedas altogether.
You can pronounce
I
it,
can
you can't, like,
I can pronounce it
Speak
with
it.
these tools here to
Right.
teach you how to pronounce.
Okay.
But I cannot recite so many things. Because I'm dull-witted, you know. I don't have this. If I've heard it once, it used to be you could hear it and then you could actually understand. But because in this age, what's actually happening is we're degrading. Yes. So I'll try and speak very loudly today.
you want the mic?
Yeah, maybe. Yes. That we can arrange. There's like a Bluetooth mic here. Maybe Madhav, he's very tech savvy. Yeah, so he knows how to do all these things. So repeat after me. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, have you heard this attentively with your mind? And are your illusions and ignorance now dispelled? Purport by Swami Srila Prabhupada, whose Bhagavad Gita commentary we're reading from. The Lord was acting as the spiritual master of Arjuna. Therefore, it was his duty to inquire from Arjuna whether he understood the whole Bhagavad Gita in its proper perspective. If not, the Lord was ready to re-explain any point, or the whole Bhagavad Gita if so required. Actually, anyone who hears Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master like Krishna or his representative will find that all his ignorance is dispelled. Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or fiction writer. It is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person, if he is fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative, is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. So any person, if he is fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or his bona fide spiritual representative, is sure to become a liberated person. Liberated means free from all suffering. And actually, this is just a beginning level teaching. To become free from suffering is really not that impressive in the greater scheme here. So we're gonna use technology to try and amplify the message today. Okay.
Become free from suffering is not impressive in the greater scheme.
No, it's not impressive in the greater scheme. There's so much. It's actually.
Beyond that, you mean?
Yes. So there's 6 fruits of bhakti. So the 6 fruits of bhakti, being free from suffering is like one of the first fruits of bhakti. If actually bhakti comes, one of the first fruits that comes is what's called kleshagni. The fire of suffering will be removed, and then the second fruit that comes is shubdada. All good fortune comes upon you. But this is just the beginning. This is only in sadhana bhakti. Actually, we teach sadhana bhakti here.
Are you free from suffering?
I am more free from suffering than when I started. So, but I'm because I've not mastered sadhana bhakti yet. I haven't become completely free from suffering. But my ability to tolerate sufferings that once would have really disturbed me has increased sufficiently by getting more sadhana bhakti in my life than previously. And we can share that with anybody. Anyone who wants to be free from suffering and who is interested in having all good fortune spread throughout your life. Does anyone want to be free from suffering? Yes, obvious, right? Who wants all good fortune spreading in their life? Okay, so the process is called sadhana bhakti. This is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. But there's an issue. We might have heard of Bhagavad Gita. You've heard of Bhagavad Gita before, sir?
He chants every day.
He chants Bhagavad Gita every day. He's good. He maybe doesn't need this verse as much as the rest of us. But how about in the back, sir? Have you?
I have read it once.
Yes.
A long time ago.
Yes, a long time ago. This is common. This is very common. And you ladies, Bhagavad Gita?
I watch like videos to understand, but not like actively.
Okay. So not too much activity, but if you've come across it before. So Arjuna, he heard the whole Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna. Very nice. But then Krishna still asked him, have you heard this attentively with your mind? And are your illusions and ignorance now dispelled? So until our illusions and ignorance have now dispelled, we actually haven't heard it fully attentively with our mind, which is why we have to keep hearing it. Which is why, what is your name, my friend? Huh. Tildal. Tildal. This is why Tildal, he is reciting Bhagavad Gita shlokas daily. Why? So he can really, really remember. He can really understand this thing. So today's class, are we really paying attention? Because we pay attention to so many things, what the bank balance is doing, what the professors want for us, what our boss wants from us. We're paying attention to so many things, the in and out, what we're going to eat, what our friends are doing later, what's going on over here. But are we actually paying attention to anything that's really going to give us benefit? Something that could free us from suffering, and something that could ultimately bring all good fortune into our life. So the message of Bhagavad Gita is ultimately what can do that. But it forces us to have to pay attention. Actually use our cheta, our mind, and focus it. Tvaya agrena, eka agrena, one pointed attention. So this is very important, that we become very one-pointed. So, like this. So we're going to chant some prayers. In order for me to become one-pointed attention here, I'm going to offer some prayers onto the spiritual masters here. So we can all chant these together. All together. Om Jnana Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Dadati Svapadantinam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Kanditamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusite Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Taruyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namostabhadaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtacha Desha Tarine. So, Kachiri Tachutang Partha Tvaya Kagrena Chetasa Kachid agyana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. So what does this mean? Kachit is he's asking whether this knowledge that I just gave you via the Bhagavad Gita, true tongue, you've actually heard it. How do you hear? He's saying Partha is son of Pritha. He's talking to Arjuna. How do you hear? With tvayaka grena. You hearing with one pointed attention. This is actually useful also in anything you do. Like let's say you're working. Let's say you're doing your schoolwork. Anything you do, if you do it with, come in, hello, Hare Krishna. If you do it with one pointed attention, you can be successful. If you're scattered and you're not able to fully focus, you won't be nearly as successful. The most successful people in the world, they're always very, very focused in their work, in their activities. Like this. So we should be, hello, Hare Krishna. Welcome. We're having a Bhagavad Gita discourse. So we're talking. Watch his face, my friend. Yes. No touching. So. Yes. Okay, so it means, O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, have you heard this attentively with your mind? And are your illusions and ignorance now dispelled? So Krishna was checking with Arjuna. Why? Because if Arjuna didn't understand it, it actually is not going to be effective. And he would have had to explain this again. So similarly, we may read Bhagavad Gita once in our life. We may watch a video. We may hear about it in a discourse. But unless we really, really focus on it, and actually Prabhupada saying in the purport, unless we hear these teachings from a spiritual master or a guru, it won't be fully effective. We have to find someone who can really teach us this Bhagavad Gita deeply, who themselves has been taught the Bhagavad Gita. How has knowledge come? It comes from the Lord, and then the Lord empowers some representative. He will instruct, like to Arjuna, he empowered Arjuna. He empowered the great sages who also got to hear this, Vyas and so on. And anyone who heard from them had the opportunity to really understand Bhagavad Gita. Now today, if we really want to understand Bhagavad Gita, if we really are interested in having our illusions, which cause us misery, dispelled, and our ignorance and illusions dispelled, we have to also hear from someone who has full knowledge, like this. So, in our tradition, we have carriers of this spiritual knowledge who are still presenting to this day, and we invite many here. We have many authorized gurus who are here today. So like this. So we have to be very, very attentive in our study of God. A lot of times, the Bhagavad Gita teaches 4 things. It teaches many things actually. My friend, please. Yes. So we're going to talk about have you heard of what's called Purushartha before? Have you heard of the four Purusharthas? Does anyone know what they are? You've heard of them, Mala? Yes. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. You've heard this? These are very 4 principles. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says these are the foundational teachings. Before he gives the confidential, the most important teaching, bhakti, he actually gives these 4 teachings. But there's only one way to fully succeed in all of these things. Do you know what the foundational teaching is? What's the first Purushartha? It's Dharma. You've heard of Dharma? Do one's Dharma. What is Dharma? Dharma is one's occupational duty. That Dharma literally means that which sustains one's life. What is one's Dharma? What is going to actually sustain one's life is actually religion. Actually approaching God in some way. Now the problem with the world is everyone wants Artha and Kama before Dharma. But actually Artha and Kama can't be fully secured before Dharma. Artha means wealth, and kama means sense gratification. So like enjoyment of this world. Everyone's trying to enjoy. Most people of this world, you could say they're very interested in kama. Kama is like eating, sleeping, mating, and acquiring things and defending. This is my thing and that's my thing. And this is my house and this is my family and this is my this. This is even everyone who's at least an atheist, everyone wants these things. Even atheists, they want these things. You don't need God to chase these things. Actually, most people who are not so interested in God, that they exclusively chase these things with one pointed attention. A lusty man is always looking on the prowl. Where's a beautiful woman? A greedy man is always on the prowl. What's an opportunity to make money? And like this, right? Very few people, what does God want from me? How do we even know what God wants? Do you know? How do we know what God wants? Yes. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. The Lord, He is giving the revelation, and He's passed it down through gurus and sadhus. And what are they ultimately passing down? The recorded Shastra, or the spoken word of the Lord. Krishna says himself in Bhagavad Gita this exact thing. Tasmach chastram pramanam te karya vyavastito gyatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. Madhav also studies all these things very nicely, actually. So we actually, in order to understand what Krishna wants, we have to have His recorded message. So that's what Bhagavad Gita is. And that recorded message is passed down through empowered saints, Krishna's empowered saintly personalities. And it's already revealed by Krishna in these ancient teachings how that type of saint acts. So you'll be able to check their work. You can say the foundation is actually Shastra. The foundation is the teachings like Bhagavad Gita themselves. If you study Bhagavad Gita, anyone who studies Bhagavad Gita, you can be sufficiently enlightened. Anybody who studies Bhagavad Gita, you'll be sufficiently enlightened. And then once you study this, if you really want to understand with one pointed attention, you'll need to actually find an enlightened person to help you. A guru. There's different tiers of guru. Even here, all the devotees, even like Matt, when you were on the street and you met Madhav, wherever you were. At the Indian store? Yeah, so you met Madhav at the Indian store. Madhav was actually acting as a guru for all of the land. Everyone at that Indian store, he was acting as what's called a Vartma Pradarshaka guru. He was trying to show them towards a good path, even though they were going there just to get maybe vegetables or fruits or whatever they're getting at the Indian store. He was trying to show people, hey, don't forget about God. Remember, this is the ultimate importance of life. So, and then hey, come on here on a Sunday. And then look, he helped you in such
I yelled across the parking lot. I'm like, you heard Krishna?
Oh.
I was looking for a local temple like 2 months ago.
Wow.
It didn't come up in the search, but
somehow or other.
wildly,
Yeah,
I'm like, I manifested this. It did not exist until I found it.
Yeah, well, we've been here for 3 years. But
nobody knows.
Yeah.
You search Google.
We're not doing that good of a job, unfortunately. So we need help. But if you want, tell your friends. But yeah, we have to actually we have to understand from a guru, someone to show the way for us. And then once we've been shown the way, then we'll need even further instructions, and we'll need somebody who can really give us instructions, what's called shiksha. If in order to become enlightened, like for instance, you see my son here, Abhiram? Yes, you see Abhiram? He teleported. And what is your son's name? Vivu.
Purushottam, actually.
Purushottam.
Yes.
So, very nice. He's the highest enjoyer. It's the name of the Lord. So, if you would have taken Vivu and you just say, okay, we're going to drop Vivu off at the train station. I'm going to go home and go back to my life. Everyone would be shocked and arrest you for doing such a thing, right? Why? This is horrible parenting. Illegal parenting, actually. You cannot just drop your children off anywhere and leave them. Some people do, but you cannot do it. Why? Because everyone knows that this child, unless he gets proper guidance, he will not be as successful in life. That we need proper guidance in life. Every parent knows this. You need to guide your child. Every one of us hopefully receives some guidance from our parents. If you try to do everything on your own, you make so many mistakes. But actually, when we're adults, why do we try to do the same thing? Instead, or we might still only rely on our parents, but if our parents aren't getting sufficient guidance, then how good will their guidance really be, actually? Or we might listen to only our boss. How good is our boss's guidance? Or maybe we'll go and listen to our professor at the university. But how good is their guidance? Unless that guidance, that source of knowledge is God, it's incomplete and actually ineffective. We have 4 main sufferings in this world. Does anyone know what they are? There's 3 types of sufferings, but 4 main sufferings. What are the 4 main sufferings? You all know them. Death. Who wants to die? Nobody wants to die? Who wants all your loved ones to die? Nobody wants your loved ones to die. But everyone's dying. Is that true? Yes. This is like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is like an existential crisis. Oh my gosh. I don't want anyone to die. I myself don't want to die, but everyone has to die. Have we ever even thought about that? Oh, death is coming. I'm sure, what is it? Vad? How do you say your name?
Name?
Yes, Nam.
Tildal.
Tildal. So Tildal he's advanced in years now. How old are you in this body?
81.
81 years he's been here. So he's on the last portion of his life. So anyone, and I'm sure he's already very sufficiently intelligent because he's chanting Bhagavad Gita daily. So he must realize the very deep importance of understanding this knowledge because we don't have that much time. Even in politics this week, this very young person in America, he got killed at 31 years old. You never know when it could end, actually. Many 18-year-olds, after prom, they go out drinking, something like this. Boom, that's the end of their life. You never know when it's going to end. Death is a fundamental suffering of life. Also, another fundamental suffering is birth. My son, he's Abhiram. He's only 5 months old. But Abhiram needs us for everything. For everything. If he has gas, he needs us. If he's hungry, he needs his mom. If he's cold, he needs someone to clothe him. He's completely dependent. Did you ever think about that? We don't really appreciate. My parents are here. Now that I'm a parent, I'm understanding, oh my God, look at all the things they did for me. You just think, oh, do you take for granted your parents? Oh, my parents just, But when you become a parent yourself, you realize, oh my God, they cleaned up my stool. They did so many things. When I was completely helpless, they completely... Just no instruments. Yes. So, when they're completely helpless, they help us. So actually birth is a suffering. When babies come out, what's the first thing they do? They cry. Why? Because they're suffering immensely. It's a very uncomfortable. The woman is suffering immensely. Especially the first labor can be many, many hours. Labor means work. It's hard. It's difficult. It's a suffering to even come to this world. We think this world's for our enjoyment. Why? Because we're in the illusion and that karma is the essence of life. And we don't actually understand that you can't even properly do karma unless dharma is there. But
karma, not karma.
Karma means the action, the work one does and the results of that work. That's karma. Kama means one's desires.
Okay.
Like it might be desire for good food. It might be desire for mating or companionship. It might be desire for intoxication or certain feelings, experiences, and so on. That's all kama. And most people are living their life completely on kama. Our message here today is don't emphasize kama. Kama will come of its own accord. Don't emphasize kama. Don't even emphasize artha. Many people here are working so hard in school. Like we have bhavita, right? And another ita. What is Yonita. Yonita and bhavita. So, you guys are students, correct? Yes. So why are you doing all this schoolwork? What is the result you want to get from this?
The job.
Yes, a job. And what's the job give you? Why do you want to do a job?
Get stable incomes for kids.
Yeah, income, so you could properly survive and all these things. So many people are super hyper focused on this, right? They study all day. Well, I got to make sure I secure my life. And then or they work all day. I got to make sure I earn income like this. But actually, we might forget how the Purusharthas are Dharma first, religion first, and then Artha, wealth, comes of its own accord, and Kama also comes of its own accord. By practicing religion first, all blessings are there. The Christians, they understand this teaching. Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all other things shall be added unto you." Meaning, if religion is set first, then all of one's necessities are set. But the illusion and the ignorance, which is causing us so much suffering, we're trying to enjoy the world, kama, and we're trying to gain wealth, artha, without dharma, without understanding what is our religious duty. So our religious duty is actually to do our work. No one says give up your work. Do your work, but do it for God. This is what, offer some portion to God and do it for God. Understanding this is our actual dharma. Because God is the one who sustains us. I've learned in my life, recently and not so recently, when I try and pursue kama without factoring in, we did that karya. What is forbidden in the scriptures and what is appropriate to do in the scriptures? What does God say is a good activity and what does God say is a bad activity? If I want to have, for young men or a young person or even much of the world, such an emphasis is on sex life. But if you want to do that, but you don't follow the scriptural regulations, it actually causes you so many problems. Divorce rates are through the roof. All kinds of problems are there. Children are being born where the parents don't want them or don't have the ability to raise them properly. So many things are happening because people are pursuing things without the Dharma. But if you know in Dharma, it says no. If you want to enjoy this facet of life, then you must take a wife or a husband, and you should follow religious duties together, and then you can have good children and raise them religiously, and you can have success in this way. And then this activity will actually bring glory to your life. But the problem is, we chase so many things first without factoring in, well, what would God want from us to do it? Even eating food. We eat so many things. God tells us in the Shastras, what should we really eat? What is actually sattvic, pure, good food? I'll give you an example. Who here eats onion and garlic? No? Yes, everyone is almost eating onion and garlic. But actually in the Shastras, it's not recommended that these are good foods, believe it or not. It's in the Shastras, it's not actually dharmic to eat these type of foods.
There's no onion and garlic in the prasada.
There's no onion and garlic. Anytime you come here, you'll never get onion and garlic in the food. Why? Because they have an impact on you. Believe it or not, everything you do has an impact on you. Like if I were to swallow nails, I would have to go to the hospital. Right? Now then most people will be like, well, you're an idiot. Humans are not supposed to eat nails. And I'd say, yes, you're right. I should not eat nails. But you might say, well, humans can eat these type of foods. And, modern science says you can eat mushrooms and this, that, and the other thing. And I say, oh, mushrooms. I saw a mushroom in the forest the other day. If I were to go eat that mushroom, do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? It's probably a bad idea. You should really check what's edible food and what's not edible. Right? So the Shastras actually have it all lined out. What should we do? Karma kartumi harhasi. What is that which should be done in this world? Krishna, God is giving all of that. Bhagavad Gita is giving so much of that, and then he's referring you to other scriptural sources that will give you complete, concise activities, what should be done and what should not be done. But if you do that which should not be done, without factoring in what God recommends, do you know what the result comes? What's that? Pop is sin, and what's the sin give you? Misery. Yes. So this is the secret to misery. You all know? You know, like for instance, has anyone ever thought something was a good idea, but then after doing it, because it wasn't fully aligned with what God wanted, it caused you so much misery, or you didn't foresee that this was going to cause an even bigger problem than previously? I can give you an example. Someone, might get into very much stocks or cryptocurrencies and things like that, and get very much engrossed and engaged in trying to make money. And the money they think might be good for them. But what could end up happening if it's not in sanction with what God wants, or if it's not a clean, honest service in the world? Instead of making money, which is your attempt, you end up losing a whole bunch of money instead. And you created a bigger problem than you did in the first place. Why? Because you have to follow Dharma, actually. You actually have to follow Dharma. I've learned these things in my life. I'm still learning these things in my life. Still activities in my life, because I'm not fully purified. Krishna has to show me very interesting lessons. Actually, when you take to the path of bhakti and trying to be someone who serves Krishna, he'll show you he'll give you even harder lessons than most people. But it's good, actually. It'll teach us what really needs to be done and what should never be done. So you should use your mind one-pointed. You should try to understand, what does God want from me? Does everyone believe in God here? Anyone not believe in God, or maybe questioning? It's okay. Yeah, questioning, that's good. It's probably, you firm no belief, or firm like I don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's smart, because anyone who says they know, it's just unscientific to say, I know for a certain of a fact there is no this. Because even scientifically, if our senses, our eyes can see, do you know what percent of the light spectrum the human eyes can see? Of the observable light spectrum. It's a little bit lower than that. Yeah. What our science's technology can see? Do you know it? Anyone know the number? What's the closest whole number? Closest integer? 0%. Your senses, what you can take in as reality, can see 0% of reality. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So if you rely only on your own senses, you're not having a very good chance of success. So to say, I know anything for a fact based on what your experience of life, oh man, that's very unscientific, actually. It's very unscientific. So it's good that you say, I don't know. I don't know. Any opinion claiming to know, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Similarly, the hearing. Do you know what percent the human ears can hear in comparison to technical? It's 0. Yes, practically 0. A little bit more than 0. That's the percentage compared to our technology.
It's a little bit more than 0?
Yeah, it's a little bit more than
Do we
0.
hear more than we see?
Yes.
Do we, you know what I mean?
It's all practically 0, because actually there's such a vast range of what can be perceived, and through the sensory, even through technology, that based on, even though we have some ability to see and we have some ability to hear, because it's such a vast amount, if you put that number over that number, it's practically 0. Maybe 0.0000, something like
Light
that.
and sound are both vibration. Correct?
Yeah. Yes, they're both vibration.
So are they the same?
Does
it eventually become...
Everything has different... The Lord has... everything is one, actually, in one sense, that the Lord is one, but He gives what's called Tadbinangshas. He has unlimited expansions and Shaktis throughout the universe. And so there are different expansions of the senses. This is actually all explained in Bhagavad Gita. Bhumir apo nalo vayu kang manubudir evacha ahankara iti yame. And then it's bina prakritir ashtada And it talks about the 8 different types of material energies that are there in this world. And then he continues on, aparayam itas tvanyad, prakritim vidime param, jiva bhutan mahabaho. And then there's one more part of the verse that is slipping my mind. But the essence of this verse, he's saying, these 2 verses, is he's saying what all the different energies are in the world and how to measure them. It's yayedam daryate jagat, by the way. How to utilize and who's utilizing. And ultimately, there's the elements of the world, earth, water, fire, air, ether. There is the subtle energies, the people's mental capacities, the mind, the discriminating faculty in the mind called the intelligence, and then the ahankara, which is the identification system, but it's actually the false, the illusory identification system. What's actually governing what's our whole experience. And then from there, it's saying the higher energies are actually the souls, the jiva bhutam. And actually everything in this world is for their utilization. And we're out here trying to exploit the whole world. We're trying to enjoy the world. But if you base your own enjoyment over God, you will not be happy. That's the science, actually. So if you don't know that there's a God in the first place, you should say, okay, well, I don't know. But this person over here, they're saying, well, an all-powerful being is giving all-powerful teachings that'll guarantee me happiness. All right, I'll look at it. But you don't have to say, okay, I fully accept. Yes, anything you say. That's to be a little crazy. But you could look at it, and what's science? What's the first thing you do in a scientific method? Observe. Yes, you're a scientist. Yes, observe. And then you have, then a hypothesis is given. Okay, so Krishna is giving your hypothesis, his hypothesis. Then you're giving your own hypothesis. And then you do what Parth is saying, experiment. You should experiment. Okay, let me read the Bhagavad Gita. Let me see if this applies to my life. Yes, no, maybe so. Test it out. Then you've scientifically approached the truth. If you don't do any type of test, then what have you done actually? And if you try to just enjoy without this, we're telling you, you cannot enjoy. You cannot have kama and you cannot have artha. You cannot build sufficient wealth and you cannot have sufficient enjoyment of anything in this world, which is why you want the wealth in the first place, without God's blessings. You cannot. It's impossible. It'll just cause you misery instead. Like for instance, many people want money because they think money will make them happy. But then they spend their all day miserable chasing money because, they're an illusion as what will actually make them happy. But if they knew what God wanted and they act accordingly, and they even were able to do their work in accordance with what God wanted, they could actually be happy doing like that. But you see, it's dharma first, then artha, appropriate wealth is there, and then kama, appropriate enjoyment is there, and then even moksha comes next. Moksha means liberation from all attachments and sufferings that these things actually inevitably all cause. All these things cause suffering and attachment. Anything you acquire with wealth, anything you acquire in this world, children and so on, they actually cause you certain levels of suffering. Many levels of suffering. Dainya is back here with Nadia, and my wife is here with Abhiram, and also Vivu. And we're like, yes, we definitely want the children, and children are so good and they're so nice. But did anyone else experience with parenting? It was a little bit more difficult than we thought. Yes, way more difficult than I thought. Yes, and Matt with River.
It's easy, but I have a younger one who's so much harder than he is.
Yes, it's always way more difficult than you think, and it causes lots of actually different forms of suffering. So at some point, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita emphasize moksha, how to become liberated. But then actually, Krishna is giving a teaching even beyond moksha. Does anyone know what that teaching is? He said that there's a teaching so high where you could even give up dharma or even religion. It's actually only a few verses after this one. Does anyone know what it is? Or before this one? know what the teaching is. He says, Sarva dharman pradityaja mamikang sharanam vraja aham tvang sarva papebhyo moksha yishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. We suffer due to sinful reaction. Do you know why you suffer? Why do you suffer? I just told you. Why do we suffer?
Sinful reaction.
Due to our sinful reactions, our karma. That's why we suffer. Because we try to have kama without dharma. We tried to enjoy, or we tried to get artha without dharma. We tried to secure wealth without following the religious protocol on how to acquire these things. And so what do we get? We get suffering instead. So this is our hypothesis. We've tested. Many people have tested, and we know actually at this point. The devotees know, and they're experiencing it already. Every time that they slip off the path a little bit, and lo and behold, here comes karma. Give you exactly the reactions that are predicted in the scriptures. You're just like, oh my God, why did I think that was a good idea? Why did I do that? But Tvayai grena chetasa, if we don't, with one pointed attention, study these things, we'll never know what can help us. We'll never know. We'll just always be randomly acting and getting random reactions. Like, why me? Why does this happen now today? It's exactly there. It'll tell you exactly why everything is happening. And it'll tell you exactly how to get good results too. And it'll actually tell you what's the best result. And this is the teaching. It's called bhakti. Bhakti means devotion unto the Lord. Bhakti also means with love. Actually, the fifth purushartha, or really wealth for our enjoyment, is actually love, the exchange of love for God. But actually, no. So, here, this is nice. So anyway, this is our actual, this is our predicament. We're trying to enjoy, and we don't know what gives the ultimate enjoyment. And then even when we become free from enjoyment, then there's still some enjoyment to pursue. That freedom from enjoyment is if you pursue God wholeheartedly. So this is the main teaching of Bhagavad Gita, is that pursue me, Krishna is saying. Pursue me. If you pursue me, I'll deliver you from all suffering. Do not fear. This is what he's saying. We're all suffering in this world. We're suffering due to our sins. But if we simply pursue God, we don't have to fear about suffering, and then actually real enjoyment will come. When we chant Rama, does anyone know what we're describing about the Lord? What does the name Ram mean? Pleasure, yes, source of pleasure. All pleasure. My son's name is Abhiram. Abhiram means near pleasure. So anyone who sees Abhiram should be near pleasure. Pleasure will come when seeing Abhiram. That's the meaning of Abhiram. Anyone who comes, even Ram Das, my name, is a servant of that all-pleasing Lord. So that's why we call out Hare Rama. Does anyone know what Hare means? Hare is the energy of the Lord, but even it's denoting Hari. What does Hari mean? It actually means one who takes away. So what is he taking away? That doesn't sound very good. He's a thief? Yes, he's a transcendental thief. But there's certain things we'd be very happy if they took away. In this verse, Kachid agyana sammoha. Pranashtaste dhananjaya. Have your ignorance and illusion been dispelled? If someone takes away your ignorance, is that a good thing? Yes. Like if, let's just say, this happens. Let's just say your spouse was cheating on you. This happens, especially in America. Let's say the spouse was cheating on you. But then some friend comes and tells you, like, hey, I know, I hate to tell you this, I don't want to tell you this, but this really unfortunate thing is happening. Are you going to be angry with that friend, or you'll actually be relieved? Thank you so much for telling me. You would thank them. So it's good. They took away your ignorance.
What is Hare Krishna then?
So
Taking away Krishna.
no, so these are,
Going to the dolls.
yeah. So Hare is a call. But Hare is denoting the energy of the Lord. It also could be denoting Hara. So there's a feminine aspect of the Lord as well. But from the most basic level, just for everyone's basic understanding here, Hari means one who will take away, especially ignorance, illusion, and suffering that come from ignorance and illusion.
So it's like saying Krishna will take away, even though it's reversed, right?
Yeah, yes, you're saying Hari, you're calling Hari or Hare. You know, these are individual names. And then Krishna, you're calling Krishna. Krishna means that which is so beautiful, the most attractive. Everyone appreciates seeing beautiful things. Like for instance, children are very cute. Everyone appreciates seeing it. Look at all these children here today. Everyone appreciates seeing such like a beautiful thing in the world, like a child or a baby, or a rainbow, or a sunset or a sunrise. Everyone is appreciating beauty. Now imagine the most beautiful thing. This is actually God. It's said in the Shastras, anyone who sees God, has darshan of Krishna, they like lose the ability to speak. It's just so beautiful that you can't even fathom how beautiful someone or something could be. So this is why we're calling Krishna. How beautiful. Imagine this type of beauty in your life. Does everyone want to see that type of beauty? Everyone in choice. Who here is married? Who married their significant other because they didn't think they were beautiful? No, everyone gets married because you think that the other person is beautiful. Right? Who wants an ugly wife? Who wants an ugly husband? Bhavita, Yonita, do you want ugly husbands one day? No. Are you sure? No, of course you want beauty. But now imagine the most beautiful thing. This is God. Everyone wants pleasure. Now imagine the most pleasurable thing. This is God. This is actually the essence of Bhagavad Gita. If you want the most enjoyable, most beautiful, most wonderful thing, it's God. It's God. It's not all these other things. These other things can also be had. Anyone who practices Dharma, you're guaranteed Artha and Kama. They're a result of Dharma. And if you don't have wealth and you don't have sufficient enjoyment in your life, it's because you haven't practiced sufficient Dharma yet. If you practice Dharma, all of these things will be there. It's a fact. It's a science. Don't believe me? Just test the science. I would have never believed 20 years ago that I'd have all of my computer on my phone. And they said, you don't trust me, just wait, But someone who understands the science, they knew what was going to happen. But now the devotees are here telling you the science, how you can have real enjoyment, real happiness. What's the science? Please God. Act in such a way that's pleasing to God and everything will be wonderful in your life. Act out of that, then all of a sudden the suffering starts coming again. Miseries are, oh my God, how did this come? I stepped out of alignment. But when the advanced devotees, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita is actually just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more than just Bhagavad Gita. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the tiers of then even advancement in devotion are elaborated.
What is the Srimad Bhagavatam?
Srimad Bhagavatam is, I'll show you in that room, there's a whole large book set. And this Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses of enlightenment from Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam are Krishna's perfect enlightenment, complete 18,000 verses. Given it's Lord Krishna's literary incarnation in this age. Anyone who studies the Srimad Bhagavatam will never return the same. And they're guaranteed the highest goal of life. They'll have the highest pleasures, the highest everything in their life. So anyone who wants a Srimad Bhagavatam, we have like 3 sets left. We're trying to distribute that. It's 18 volumes. It's amazing. But everyone should be reading. It's one of the 5 important limbs of devotion. Every day read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Not even Bhagavad Gita. But if you don't understand Bhagavad Gita, no chance of even knowing about Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad Gita is foundational teachings of Krishna. But then from there, even there is so much more. Srimad Bhagavatam is given. But anyhow, our plea to you is this. Everyone wants to enjoy. Everyone even wants some wealth, stable income, so they can support themselves and family. The way to sustain all of that is the Dharma. That's what it means. That which sustains one's existence. In order to get the sustenance for proper enjoyment in life, you have to be religious. You have to do things by, you could say, the book. By how God is outlining how to properly do things. But then an even higher teaching in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is this. Even Dharma is no longer necessary at some point. Even Dharma has its limitations. And what is even higher than that? Living wholly and solely for the Lord. But it doesn't happen overnight. But what we're telling you first, stop trying to get kama without Dharma. Stop trying to get artha. Kama is enjoyment. Stop trying to enjoy without understanding God's science on how to enjoy. Stop trying to get wealth without trying to understand God's science on how to get wealth. If you first work on Dharma, what is your proper duty in this world as enunciated by the Lord and then also can be revealed to you by a spiritual guide or a teacher, a guru, then you no problem getting wealth and no problem getting enjoyment in this world. But then you'll see the limitations of these things. Like children and marriage and money and houses and worldly opulence. Anyone who has them, they'll tell you, actually it causes a bunch of suffering and headache too. So you'll realize the limitation of these things. And at some point, like when you're Prabhu's age over here, you might realize, I'm going to start detaching from these things. And you might follow wholeheartedly, the Lord and immerse yourself in meditation and be free from these attachments and free from the sufferings they cause. Because the things that artha and kama actually cause attachments and suffering. They do actually. Anyone who has anything, like children can cause actually so much suffering because we're so attached to them. If the child gets hurt, now we're hurt. Our heart is hurt because even though nothing happened to us, because they got hurt, now we're hurt. Like this, and so on. All things of this world are like that. Anything that you get, if your wife, your parent, anything you get in this world, if they have a problem, now you have a problem. And that just means the more things you get, the more problems. They say in the West, a Western axiom, more money equals what? More problems. Yes, everyone talks about this. More money means more problems. So you'll realize actually eventually these things have their limitation. They cause certain levels of suffering. So at some point you can follow the pure path of the sadhus and be free from suffering. And Krishna says at that point, real pleasure can begin. And that's bhakti. So we're teaching here how to get to that platform. But you have no chance of getting to that platform if you don't take the beginning level teachings. First level teachings, kama, trying to be the enjoyer, this is an atheistic tendency. Atheism is guaranteed suffering. It's scientifically proven how atheists die versus how spiritual people die. Atheists die miserable, almost always, and spiritual people are the only people who can die with some level of peace of heart. Why? Because if the atheist lives only for the things enjoyable in this world, naturally when the cruel fate of death comes upon them and they have to lose all those things, they're naturally very miserable.
Carl Sagan went out very well.
What was his...
He was an atheist and he, on his deathbed, was very excited to die and see what, if
yeah. Well, you know what?
This is almost like not being an atheist.
Yeah, he's definitely not an atheist.
Right,
At least if he's saying as an agnostic, he must be an agnostic at the very least because he's going out like, well, what does this experience hold for me?
Right.
So that's actually...
It is. It's a form of belief.
Yeah, it's a belief that,
Curiosity, at least.
yeah, at least a curiosity. And actually, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 4 types of people can approach him. Those who are miserable, distressed, that's many of us. And if you're in misery, you can approach God. Those who are in need of wealth, to do your basic functions in life, you approach God. The third is the curious. Well, So Carl Sagan is actually someone approaching Krishna in his curiosity. Because actually Krishna says he meets the atheist. Do you know what form he says he meets the atheist in? In Bhagavatam it said in the form of death. So he was going to meet Krishna actually in one of Krishna's forms. But he's doing it in the proper mindset of curiosity. But most are not curious as atheists dying. And you could see they've studied people dying in hospitals. And those who have spiritual belief almost certainly die in much more peace and happiness than the atheistic. But, yes, there are rare circumstances, like Carl Sagan has this natural tendency of curiosity, and he can actually meet Krishna properly in death, or nicely, or better. And then the last is those who are fully situated in knowledge. Those who are fully situated in knowledge and how this world works, in Gyan, that is the best person who approaches Krishna. And from that Gyan, what can happen is Jnana Vimukta. You can become a Vimukta, a liberated being, free from all suffering in this world. And then you can actually practice bhakti. You can work, the real reality is God. And my goal now is to approach God. And if He's so willing, can reveal Himself to me, I know real pleasure lies there. And then that's the activities of sadhana bhakti. One of the activities to doing that is calling out to God. We're not just like, these people, they chant that weird mantra. Why are we chanting this mantra? Actually, it's because we're calling out to God. That's the actual bhakti intention. Many of us, because we're not really on the platform of bhakti yet in the beginning, we're still working through trying to be dharmic, and or even worse, not trying to be comic or arthic, trying to pursue material sense pleasure or wealth. We're not actually chanting Hare Krishna with calling to God. We're chanting Hare Krishna, please solve all my problems in this world.
Krishna, money,
Hare Krishna, money, solve my money problem. Come. Yeah, exactly. Yes, this is actually what's happening. But those who are in bhakti, those who realize they're in full jnana, they're calling out to Krishna in love, saying, I know only you can give me real happiness. I know this is the truth. It's been revealed to me. I'm seeing the limitation of all of my past activities. Please, free me from this. I just want you. And they'll do what's called sadhana bhakti. Sadhana means, it literally means a means of attaining one's goal. Like, what's a sadhana people do every day to get good grades? Students, what is your sadhana? How do you get good grades? Studying, yes. Preeti's a professor, so she knows the proper sadhana here. In order to get good grades, you have to study, right? In order to get money, what do you have to do to get money often? What's the sadhana? Go to work. You go to work, perform the tasks that the employers want, then they give you sufficient money. Yes, everyone is doing these sadhanas. But anyone who's realizing the benefit of bhakti, if you do sadhana bhakti, 2 fruits come. Does anyone remember? I talked about them in the beginning.
2 what?
Fruits come of just sadhana bhakti. There's tiers of bhakti. And then from sadhana bhakti comes bhav bhakti, where one has an actual direct experience of God. It's not an agnostic phase anymore. God has actually revealed themselves. I am not at that fully revealed themselves to that person. That is not something I've fully achieved yet. I'm still definitely working in sadhana bhakti. But I'm meeting personalities who are having this experience, and I'm blown away by the happiness that they're and relishment they're getting out of life. But and they come here. We invite guests here, so please come and meet such personalities, and you can see for yourself, and you yourself can have more faith, because when you meet somebody who is truly happy, you always say, "Wow, I want to be happy. I want to have that happiness." but it's not easily attained. Actually, it's very, very rare, very rare.
What was the last one you had? Here.
Oh, the last one who came. You know what? Even just within a week ago, we had a really nice devotee. He's not like a big flaunting guru or anything. He's not popular or well known by the whole world. But his name is Krishna Kripa Prabhu. But he is such a sincere and amazing devotee. Anyone who associates with him, especially if you're well versed in devotional understanding, you see, wow, he's really made a ton of advancement. And you see, he's just like a happy-go-lucky, so very jolly actually in his activities. And he's been a monk for, 40 years. But even, and he will admit this, he would say that there's so many more people even more advanced than him. But he's just a very humble servant. But he was here just a week ago, like this. So come and associate with the devotees. And you yourself can have access to higher levels of happiness. But it's a process, and you have to experiment. You have to observe it. To scientifically approach it means you have to observe it. That means, what does that mean? You should at least read some book. Yeah, like there's a Science of Self-Realization book. Read that. Understand the science and see what it's about. But the easiest thing you can do here, my cousin actually did a great service to me. I used to be an atheist. And because I very much held very dearly that if I can't see it, it must not exist. I had this type of mentality. Yeah, first I was Catholic, but then at some point I was taught the material scientific way, where the senses are everything. What we can observe, like the first thing of scientific method is observation. What we can observe, this is science. Little do they know, we can observe that our observation process is 0% effective. But that's a deeper level of science. Yeah, the father of modern physics, he has a quote, in the first gulp of the sciences, natural sciences, you may become an atheist. But as you get to the bottom of the glass, you'll see God waiting there for you. Meaning, that's why even Albert Einstein, he was theistic, especially at the end of his life. Even also read Bhagavad Gita. Albert Einstein, yes, he was very much into this. He was very curious. He wanted to know. He saw the limitations of the material scientific path. Many.
The more you know, the less you know.
Yeah, the more, and it's a common Western axiom. The more you know, the more you realize what? The less you know. Exactly. So anyone, the more you know, the more humble you become. And you realize, oh wow, I'm a small fry here, and the Lord is so much greater than I can even imagine.
I wondered why I'm so humble, but now I understand.
Oh, there you go. So humble of you to mention it. So, no problem. So let's finish off our program today. We're going to do the most recommended activity. For someone who's realized this highest jnana, that there is a God and that my life is best suited for approaching God. Even if you still want these other things, so even if you still want wealth, artha, even if you still want kama, certain levels of sensory pleasure in this world, the family happiness, and this thing, that, and the other thing, still there is no better personality to approach than God. And there is no process, then God has the Dharma. You can learn about what the God's Dharma is, how to practice it. So no matter what, this activity is the best thing you can do. But if you can actually somehow in your heart come to the realization that there is no more pleasurable thing, no more beautiful, no more beneficial and wonderful thing that will deliver us from all types of suffering, then calling and forming this relationship with God, begging the Lord to reveal Himself in relationship to us, then you'll chant this mantra with us, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So before we do that, does anyone have any question? Me and Matt have had so much discourse so that there are many questions maybe in that. But does anyone have a serious question?
No one else.
Okay. Are you sure? You don't have to be too shy. Hare Krishna, come. Please come in. Go ahead, here's your question.
We were talking about, it's like a law book to live by. God gives His instructions, but God gives His instructions in so many different religions and beliefs, and
Yes.
and there's kind of like smorgasbord also religions that have, there's so many different faiths and practices, and there's you could do the 10 Commandments, you could do the Torah, whatever. I don't know what the names are of all the different religions and all the
Yes.
different, but why is there a best? Is it all the same? Is it like why listen to this one? You know, you
Yeah.
can spend your life.
So that's a good question. Why approach this religious process over opposed to, say, so many other religious processes? I said at the very beginning, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in so many places, there's actually only one religion. What is that one religion? It's Sanatan Dharma. What is that eternal duty or occupation unto the Lord? It's service to God. This is the one religion. This is every single religion has service to God. Every single one. Find me one religion. It's not, if it's not service to God, it's not a religion. You know. This is what makes a religion is there's an acknowledgement of a God, and then there's some service to the God. You know. Even so, there's many people who are religious and they worship demigods. There are demigods. We're not saying demigods don't exist. But even demigods, how do the demigods get their power? In the Vedas, it's saying that there's one absolute truth. And then there's one. There's some conclusions in the Bhagavad Gita. Like a vyaktim vyaktim apanam. Help me. Manyante mam abudhaya. He's saying the intelligent persons, they think that I was once unmanifested or Brahman, but now I have taken this form. So many people, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the unintelligent, the less intelligent understanders of the Vedas, they will think that everything's just like an energy. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. But actually, he's saying, parambhavam ajananto, because they're not understanding my supreme nature. The supreme nature is God is actually a personality. So she asked, what makes this religion superior to any other religion? We're saying there's one religion. So-called religions of the world are either embracing this religion or not. But Krishna says himself in Bhagavad Gita, Pitaham asya jagato, he's saying, I am the father of this world and universe. Mata datta pitamaha. And he's saying, I'm the mother, I am the sustainer, and I am the grandsire as well. And then he said, Vedyam pavitram omkara. Vedyam, I am that which is to be known. I am the most pure. Omkara, I am the transcendental vibration, the transcendental sound. Even in the beginning of the Bible it says, in the beginning was the Word. The Greek translation, a more appropriate word, is actually sound. But because in translation things can get lost, more appropriate. Interestingly enough, the original sound in the Vedas is said to be the Omkara. This is the sound that actually creates. And if you look at what's the most subtle material energy, is actually sound. And it travels in ether, where everything else... Anyway, that's all explained in Bhagavad Gita to some. But then he concludes the verse saying, Rik sama yajur evacha. I am the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas as well. So what makes this, why am I saying this? What makes this superior is because this is directly connected to Krishna. Krishna is the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. God is, he's revealing himself through the Vedas. Now every other religion has some type of origin, how it got to be where it is. Like even Jesus, he said, I have not come to change the law. The Jews accused him of changing the laws of the religious age. And he says, I have not come to change the law. I've come to fulfill the law. Meaning there was already a law and he's just fulfilling it. Krishna is giving the laws in the Vedas. And then in the Vedas, because it's not easy for someone to understand the Vedas, it's a very difficult science. Then we have to have supplementary presentations of the Vedas, like the Puranas and the Itihasas, like Mahabharata, the Ramayana. The Bhagavad Gita is part of a Purana, in which Krishna himself will come and make it a little clearer. Because the Vedic way, it gets lost in due course of time. But it's very old, and modern science has found out what's the oldest advanced civilization in the world. What's that? The Aryan. It's the what they would call like the ancient Indian culture. What's the oldest language in the world? Sanskrit. It's proven. You could even see, like even the word dwar. Dwar means entrance or door. The word door is actually coming from the ancient Sanskrit. There's so many Latin words. Latin is coming. What I'm saying is all of the other religions are actually coming from the ancient Vedic way. There's one religion. And Jesus said himself, I have not come to change the law. I've come to fulfill the law. Meaning, he's showing us what already exists, that law that already exists. You know, now a lot of this so-called Christians will say, I'm the way, the truth, the life, and nobody comes to the Father except through me. They quote this verse, weaponize this verse with their meager, puny understanding, thinking, yes, that proves it. It's Jesus and not any other way. But Jesus says, I have not come to change the law. I've come to fulfill the law. Meaning he's pointing you to the same exact way. And what's that way? It is actually the ancient Vedas. A lot of people don't know about Jesus, is that Jesus was gone from the Bible for 18 years, most of his life. He disappeared at 12 and he reappeared at 30. Interesting, at that same exact time period, there's documentations in Tibetan temples and even in Jagannath Puri, the pundits there, that there was a Saint Isa who arrived at 14 in the Himalayas and he left at 28 and he preached practically the same exact message that Jesus preached. It was the same message because he was the same person. And he came back and he presented the ultimate religious philosophy for the people at that time, place, and circumstance, which have formed new religions. But back to her question, all of the religions are one. That there is a God, and I have some responsibility, and there is myself as a soul, and I have some eternal, no matter what form of life I'm in, I have some relationship with God, and I should do something about it. What we're presenting here is what to do about it. What does Krishna recommend we do about it? The ultimate recommendation, first recommendation, base level, dharma. Do your duty properly in the world. Don't be a jerk to others. Don't do a-dharma. Karya, vyavastito. Tasmach chastram pranamanam te. If you want your evidence on what to do, the scriptures are there telling you how to properly act. Do dharma. But then eventually Krishna, he's saying, sarva dharman parityaja. Actually now, even better than dharma, give up dharma and just surrender to me in bhakti. And so he teaches us what sadhana bhakti is. And what sadhana bhakti, I can tell you, in the Prahlad Maharaj. Everyone watch this Mahavatar Narsingha movie that just came out? It came out on Netflix. You can all watch it now. It's a very, very empowered movie that just came out. Everyone can watch. But the process given in that movie, what's the main process of sadhana bhakti? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. You've heard this before?
My friend was recommending this movie too.
Yes. I'm also recommending this movie. I wanted to watch last night, but we got so tired we didn't get to watch. But it's on Netflix. So, first things first, Shravanam. Come hear about the Lord. Guess what? You're all doing it. You're practicing sadhana bhakti right now. Most important thing, come first and hear about the Lord. So we're doing right now, we're presenting the Lord. And then the next is doing what I'm doing. Kirtanam, glorifying the Lord. So what you heard, now you share that. And guess what will happen next? You'll remember it. Smaranam. Vishnu Smaranam. You'll actually remember it. That's how you remember anything. That's why the old religions, I was talking in the beginning of class how we think that writing was an invention of the advanced society. It was actually an invention of the less advanced society because they could no longer remember. How do you actually remember something? You hear it and then you recite it. Then you'll remember it. Any motivational speaker, are they good if they read? What motivational speakers do you know that just sit there and read? Like when someone makes a speech and they just sit there and read. How impressed is everyone at the speech at the end? No one. But if the speaker can engage with everybody and talk to everyone because they actually remember it, it's that much more captivating. Every great motivational speaker, whether it's Tony Robbins or this one, that one, the other one, they're up there, they're not reading anything. Maybe they'll have a point on a slide or something. But they're up there engaged. Why? Because they know what they're talking about. They've heard what it is they're presenting. Same thing with bhakti. If you want bhakti, you have to hear how to practice bhakti. You have to hear it first. Then, next, in order to remember it, you have to then recite it. You got to tell others about it. This is how it's Krishna's natural built-in system, how bhakti will increase. So, you can't just hear it and be set. Then you tell others about it. You recite it. Like our friend here, he recites Bhagavad Gita daily. Nityam Bhagavata Gita shlokas. Always reciting Bhagavad Gita. This is how he can remember, and then he'll remember like this. So if you want to remember, this is the highest conclusion. Practice bhakti, the process of devotion to the Lord. But you have to first hear about the Lord. You can't just sit here and come up and read the book and present your own concoction about the Lord. You have to also hear from a bona fide source, someone who's been sufficiently blessed by the Lord. You can't force your way. If there's an all-powerful being, but he's remaining hidden from our consciousness, what can we do about it? All-powerful being. You're playing hide and seek with a whole all-powerful being. Anyone know this game? Kids play hide and seek? Now imagine Krishna is playing hide and seek with you. What can you do to find Krishna in hide and seek if he doesn't want to be found? Nothing. You could do nothing about it. He's all-powerful. You can't do anything. No matter where you look, he'll know exactly where to not be. So if we're all kind of playing hide and seek with God. He exists, but he hasn't revealed himself to us yet. What can we really do about it? You can't force it. You can't just, I'll read this book and this book and this. If he doesn't want to reveal himself, he won't. But if he does reveal himself through maybe leading you to one of his servants who tell about how to get closer to him, or leading you to a shastra which tells how to get closer to him, then maybe you have a chance. But that's it. You have to please him. You expect him to reveal himself on your own power. Yes, I'll conquer God. That's not a very smart strategy. Rather than trying to conquer God, you should try to appeal to God. Like Alexander the Great. He came and conquered all over the world. But anyone who tried to, I'm going to conquer this great conqueror, what happened to them? They got killed. But many, they just said, I've been defeated by you. What can I do to serve you? And then maybe he spared their life. So similarly with God, he's the greatest power and personality. And if we approach him sincerely, with love, with affection, with humility, maybe he'll be pleased to us and he'll give us more revelation. This is bhakti. So first, hear about God. See the value of hearing? Yes, it's time. So what we're going to do, I went over, I apologize. But most of you came late, so you were just doing the purpose of life. This a very, it's a very, very short question. In short, the goal of life is tadpritim. Tadpritim is his affection. Developing affection for God. This is the whole purpose of life. You have the ultimate conclusion is this. There is a God, there is you. You have some responsibility. The purpose of life isn't to try and enjoy this world. The purpose of life is to actually enjoy in relationship with God. But you have to, one, discover there is a God, and then two, you have to do something about it now. So the whole purpose of life is sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means the goal of life is that the relationship with God, sadhana bhakti, is those activities which bring you closer, in which you can attain him. And the first, does anyone remember the first three? This is the answer to your question. What's the first three of the sadhana bhakti processes? Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Vishnu Smaranam. You have to hear about God, then you have to then recite what you've heard to others, and what will become realized to you, and then you'll remember and realize these things yourself. This is your purpose. All purpose. But you have to first hear about God. And that means at first, like the first teaching, you may have to repent. You will have to stop doing our kama and artha activities. Activities trying to be the enjoyer of this world and trying to secure wealth in this world. And ultimately, you have to repent and you have to stop these things and change your mind. That's what the word metanoia or repent in the Bible means. To change your mind and go towards the Lord instead. So what do? It says in the Bible even, one who calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Then many other people later on, they tried to change the law and say, no, you're only saved if you do this. But actually, one who calls upon the name of the Lord in Psalms says, he shall be saved. So this is what we do. This is the ancient process, kirtanam. You've heard the name of the Lord. You've heard of the Lord's existence. We're giving you at least some hypothesis. Now call upon the Lord and see. So we'll do this for 2 or 3 minutes. Is that okay? With sincerity. We'll call upon the Lord.